First time in Italy, it's Tony Arbolino, courtesy of that brilliant 1:56.407, that record break. Canet, your World Championship leader, and Suzuki, Lopez, Masia, and Foggia on row 4. Binder, that penalty yesterday. Ayumu Sasaki on the front row here last year. He's at the head of row 7 with Cornfile and Maserez. Salach, Tom Booth, Amos, Ricardo Rossi, penalty.
So the hottest for one of the riders on the grid there, but I think they've all just about made it away as everyone point the closest ever top 15 as well. It's a big day for all of these riders. It's a big day for the Italian riders, and in particular
the noise, you know. So it's fantastic. It's a fantastic feeling.
Thank you, Gerry.
In the likes of Andrea Migno and Nicolo Antonelli, all part of the VR46 Academy. Have to say, I really like the Earth. Yet another little gem there, doesn't it? Hard to predict what's going to happen in this Moto3 race. October, Masia, Canet, Antonelli, and John McPhee. Will this golden sequence go on? Going into this 20-lapper over the man on the front row, Lorenzo Dalla Porta.
The boss is here, of course, Max Biaggi, consistent top 4 in all but one of the races so far this year for Aaron Canet. Oh, how are the nerves this year? Valentino Rossi, who we just heard from there, he's just counting the rows back to see where...
Valentino Rossi fans starting on the back of the 6th row in MotoGP in 18th spot.
Well, it is Sunday, and it's Rossi, and it's Grand Prix of Italy. The lights are on, and out they go. Good start from second from Gabriel Rodrigo. A bit of a... be able to recover because of the slipstream on Rodrigo, but it will be the Argentinian that leads into turn 1.
Def is 9th to 3rd. Electric start by the Japanese man.
Yeah, he's led more laps than any other rider so far. Aaron Canet, he's just up ahead of Keito Toba, of course, the winner back in Qatar on the opening night.
Fanati places on the opening half of this first lap.
Climb uphill, Arrabbiata 1, now into Arrabbiata 2, on board with...
Barnstorming first lap. The Scotsman started on the middle of the 6th. His race is already over. It's a premature end for the Japanese man.
Yeah, that is some start, isn't it, from the wee McPhee. Final turn, Boccini, he goes into second, and this is where it all takes effect. Slipstream City, the one...
Dalla Porta started in 3rd place. He comes over the line leading. Will he lead when they hit the brakes for Sandin?
Outstanding from where he was on the grid. Rodrigo it is now then that leads.
Well, he botched the qualifying tactics, John.
Let's see what happened to the Japanese rider just a bit further back in the pack. I'm looking.
We saw that on the first lap in Le Mans from another Japanese rider, Ayagura, of course, when his motorcycle came back on the circuit. If you wonder,
it's battled away. There is John McPhee then from row 6. He's done a marvellous job. Not a similar story, unfortunately, from Dalla Porta, though, and McPhee. Further back there, Raul Fernandez going through, Albert Arenas, and there is just behind
Dalla Porta on the Leopard Honda. Now we're going to see the slipstream being used by all of this group behind.
Suzuki so late on the brakes, too late on the brakes. He goes in a bit hot there into San Donato, but then he's got a nice line.
Who's done really well to come from that 3rd row after that penalty yesterday. He's just tucked in now behind Lorenzo. Qualifying yesterday are the top 3 men in the early part of this Italian Grand Prix so far.
To 3rd place, McPhee's in the mix as well. He picks off Dalla Porta.
Yeah, Dalla Porta had to really jam the brakes. All of his exit speed up the hill through Arrabbiata. That's allowed a couple of guys through on him.
Not for the first time then this season. McPhee's made up 12 places. Jaume Massia's now in the mix as well, number 5, ahead of 55. Romano
Suzuki, big scare as he tried to squeeze the power on, coming out of Boccini corner. He was right.
Has done brilliantly. He's now up in this mix as well as they all fan out. It's 7-8 abreast here, down into turn 1.
The 4 abreast going into San Donato. There's 4 abreast coming out of San Donato as well. It's eye of the nose.
Rodrigo's gone down. Oh, dearie me, on the hunt for his first ever podium, and it's more disappointment for the
Turn 8, we've lost our first big name out of the leading group, and sadly it's Argentina's Gabriel Rodrigo. So,
let's see. He lost that all on his own.
I'm afraid that's just...
there is just a tiny little dip on the inside of the apex there as well, so it just looked like the front just tucked away.
Talking about gloves off, Darren Binder, you don't want to see him with his gloves off because he's got a horrible, gruesome hand. He's up into 4th place now, Kazuki Masaki. The men behind this top 3, Binder and McPhee there, long way to go, 16 laps to go here in Italy.
He loves the scrap though, doesn't he, Darren Binder?
Once again, Steve, we're seeing Romano Fenati get decent starts, and then, I don't know if it's an Arrabbiata 1 by Darren Binder, up the inside of Arbolino. The room was there, and he took it. No second invitation.
Top 3. There is Arbolino and McPhee. Fenati, it's just got worse for him. He's down to 9 so far this year. I don't know what has changed in Suzuki in the last 12 months, but he really does believe in him.
World Championship points. Had he stayed on board in both those races, well, Tatsuki Suzuki would be right up there inside the... Fastest man on the circuit's your World Championship leader, Aaron Canet, although he had that on very, very briefly. That's now gone to...
And then there's just a bit of a gap back to Andrea Minio and Alonso Lopez, who's not had a bad start. It's Binder again.
Up the inside of Tatsuki Suzuki into the chicane. Here is the man who's just set league group. He's in 6th place. He's certainly added consistency to his game this year, although Dennis the Menace. Thing about Lorenzo Dalla Porta and racing in front of home crowds. Who could forget Mazzano last September when he prevailed for the...
Up underneath McPhee once more. Dalla Porta holding this field off quite well, so group.
Yeah, he's just been taken actually by Jaume Masia coming into this Pacini corner. Now, Japanese man now gets some slipstream. Arbolino's just set his per 2 men quicker than the 2 men ahead of...
Just about worked. Is he going to hold on to the lead? Up through goes Dalla Porta again, though.
Nice, good old-fashioned barroom brawl. Binder, those been picked up, has he, by Arbolino? No, not quite. Line away.
By a tenth or two, which gives him a little bit of breathing space as he comes out of the final corner. On the last couple of laps, he has let himself back into contention. Let's see what happened to him, because that wasn't initially a bad start, but then he recovered well to get back in the slipstream.
Yeah, a couple of riders who qualified well on the second row. 10. Minio just inside the top 10, of course. Fenati fighting to get himself back inside the point-scoring place.
I can't see anybody getting close to him in terms of slipstream. Look at that advantage Dalla Porta has got. This
now, it's very, very unusual, very, very rare. I can't recall in recent history a time when a single rider, Foggia and Canet, to really engage, because that will just give him even more breathing space.
He's lost a couple. Lose another half a tenth, you'd suspect, through sector 2 as we drop down the hill through Casanova, and just so strong there. Suzuki then back up in a second. Nice move there from McPhee.
But the man who's trying to go with him is Jaume Masia, who's got his hands full keeping Alonso Lopez at bay. Jaume Masia, and he's gone down the road. It's another DNF then for the Spanish teenager.
2. But on to the start-finish straight we go to complete lap 8. It's still Dalla Porta, 57.3 put in. It goes through, number 40 on John McPhee.
We've seen this before, the trust that Darren, not only is braking, but how much that front tyre is going to hold up underneath him. He's so aggressive.
Dalla Porta.
Yeah, and as we suspected, it hasn't taken long. Nicola Antelli has finally latched onto the back of this group. Minio.
Tony Arbolino, of course, a stunning lap to take pole yesterday and through.
He fights straight back. That's the way to do it. Once you've been passed, do it the Marquez way. Strike straight back.
2 or 3 riders are going to come into contention, so he's defended well thus far as Dalla Porta out front. But
yeah, like you say, Steve, second half of the circuit, he excels. He's absolutely brilliant. Honda, the KTM there of Darren Binder just couldn't get by him on the straight, although Binder, he's so... Well, he came over the line 3rd, he's now leading, and Dalla Porta is coming under real pressure as well from Foggia.
And through again, though, cleverly goes Dalla Porta, immediately reacts to go back through. There's
on our commentary box position, Riccardo Rossi and Romano Fenati have had track limits warning. They're going to be in the, wasn't it, a couple of years ago, that famous race in 2017. He was 4th, only 3 tenths off the
race here in Mugello. Dalla Porta so far just a step ahead of the pack when it comes to a few.
Steve, Masia and Minio have wasted no time in getting themselves also hooked onto the back of this lead group. Marcos Ramirez, the drive that Dalla Porta gets out of Pacini is really, really impressive. He's gone for the Brit. He's down at turn 14. Crash here in Mugello. So yeah, nobody at the moment on this lap picking a fight with Lorenzo Dalla Porta. Last time in Le Mans. So the long lap penalty lane, as we said, that's at turn 12 here this weekend.
Once again, Dalla Porta, and through goes Tony Arbolino. Dennis the Menace Foggia.
He was so close to T-boning Tony Arbolino. That was really, really tight. The overtake of the century. He was 5th going into Pacini, up the inside. 4th off,
miles back. Going into the final corner, he gets mired, though, down the start-finish straight.
I say overtake an front wheel.
Oh, it's getting a bit messy, isn't it, Dalla Porta? He's reluctant to fall back any further. Number 7.
I want to see a replay of that move that Dalla Porta made at the Pacini corner, because it was quite a place.
He looks so strong, though. Look at that. Just as easy as that, he slices through the pack again. Brilliant.
But you've still got to get it done.
Brilliant. Really brave. A bit risky, but it paid off. He's in right there as Minio goes up underneath him, but this pack now all grouping up together.
Yeah, we're only just over half race now from Suzuki back to Sergio Garcia, the top 18. they'll all feel they've got a good crack at this time.
Squadra Course Honda rider Tatsuki Suzuki leads, looking for his first ever race victory.
Last time around, Tatsuki Suzuki got engulfed in the slipstream, led over the line, back now in third place.
Marcos Ramirez then, obviously some sort of mechanical issue there for the Spanish rider. That's a shame.
Well, I think Porter, this is where he's so supreme. Arrabbiata 1 and 2 is corner speed, frightening.
Really reel in Dalla Porta so far has been Tony Arbolino, but he's back in 5th place, number 14 at the moment.
10, now we've got 18, but right on cue, Canet found a way up the inside of Dennis Foggia.
Beyond 1 and 2, so I'm getting a bit of a mix-up here as we watch back Philip
Sakard, Yamanaka, Jan Anju, Makar Yachenko. Back at the front though, as is Antonelli, Mino, the race winner in 2017. The gap now down to Sergio Garcia.
Field flow through. Tatsuki Suzuki using all of the circuit there. Still Dalla Porta that leads. Suzuki leader. As it stands, he would just lose the lead of the championship if Dalla Porta crosses the line to win.
Well, he goes to him because he's so strong in the second and third sectors. He's been proven that he can break, and Marcos Ramirez come to a premature conclusion.
Is this going to be the young, just the one win to his name? Of course, over in San Marino last year,
which seems to be sticking around.
How does he fare then out of the last corner across the line? Very well, actually. The charge over the hill, over the crest into San Donato. Arbolino breaks later. Exhibit A into turn 1.
Any room at the end. Leader Aaron Canet, who's having a real good tussle at the moment with Andrea Migno. In fact, a little bit too tight, that Danilo Antonelli. In fact, yes, he did.
Brave move that from Darren Binder, back up into second place ahead of Tony Arbolino.
Look at here, Steve. Normally, late race pace from the number 27. There he is in the middle of your picture now. The Qatar Grand Prix. We're going to get the tactics absolutely bang on the money yet again. Kaita Toba, who's had back-to-back top sixes for the first time. It's
Toba time. That seems to be in his DNA at the moment. There is Nico Antonelli. He just goes through on Andrea Migno.
And still nobody's able to get in the slipstream of Lorenzo Dalla Porta. On board there briefly with John McPhee. There was not much room there, and McPhee, for his troubles, gets a nudge from Binder as well.
As Matt mentioned, 27, keep an eye on him. He just seems to have a lot of life left in him at this stage.
Antelli's been close, a couple of 4th places, another top 6 as well. So it's still Lorenzo Aaron Canet of just 2 points. There's plenty of mileage though in this Italian Grand Prix, and Suzuki fires.
Still a long way to go still in this one. Nico Antonelli would go, and well, gee, as Dalla Porta put into those tyres as well. He's gone down to Migno. Now, they're not old friends, that's for sure. What's happened there? No one...
Moto 3 winners here in Mugello are out of the Italian Grand Prix.
What happened? It will be a bit further back into the pack. Oh, we didn't quite get the start of that one, did we? Into Bacchini.
Sasaki.
It's Sasaki.
Sasaki, and is it... Well, it's...
Gerry Salim, is it?
2 Japanese riders go out of contention. Incredible.
Well, who's going to survive here in Toba high sides? Sasaki with nowhere.
Washing machine there for a bit, wasn't he? Here's Nicola Antelli's race progression. Started briefly because Dalla Porta strikes in the slipstream.
Tony Arbolino then coming, because we've got absolutely no signal, no Wi-Fi in our commentary box here, as ever in Mugello. You say Dalla Porta
has got a track limits warning.
Well, it's been a very quiet day for Arenas.
Whether he had to check up and roll out of it, but he was right there, wasn't he, Binder, throughout the race, and all of a sudden he's in 10th place and right out of podium contention.
Jaume Masia there getting aggressive up the inside of Aaron Canet. It's Lorenzo Dalla Porta, the race lead. Oh, there was a big moment for Jaume Masia. Now, that must have been earlier on.
He's got a real nice cushion, a real nice buffer over the chasing pack coming out of Bacchini then for the 18th.
Close to Dalla Porta on the exit of that corner, and on a circuit like Mugello, that is bizarre.
So John Ferreira there around the outside of San Donato, and he made it work as well. So that was Nico Antelli actually.
There's Jaume Masia just squeezing past, then it's Foggia, and Foggia goes back, then on the cut back, Principelli.
That's how you attack those 2 downhill corners. Suzuki then Sally's 658 Squadra Corsa team. That is beautifully done by Suzuki. Absolutely awesome move.
Leading races, that's for sure. There are 2 laps to go, and when we cross the line, there'll be just 1 lap to go, and it looks like for once...
On this weekend, what a victory this would be in the team's home Grand Prix.
Will lead them across the line, but not for long. Here comes Della Porta, here comes Arbolino. McPhee's in there again as well. Really hard on the brakes. Whoa!
Masia picked up Della Porta, running wide. Della Porta
down to 7th place. Masia then leads from Della Porta now.
First time Masia's led this Grand Prix the far. Foggia still looking really strong there. He's in 4th place as Arbolino lunged up the inside.
They're into Arrabbiata 1 and 2, but Foggia nudges him. Not quite.
They're all beating themselves up behind Masia.
Jaume Masia, though, who led into turn 1, is still leading, but here comes Della Porta up the inside.
Masia, 1 corner to go, and it's Della Porta that leads. Arbolino on the inside of Masia.
Surely Della Porta holds on to this. Checkered flag is out here in Mugello, and it will be... Oh, close! Arbolino at home in magnificent Mugello.
Can you believe that? Tony Arbolino, it looked like they've crashed on the last lap, not finished second, the Leopard Honda team. Late heartbreak. Lorenzo Dalla, cruel that for Lorenzo Dalla Porta. He did so much of the running, so much race. Nobody, if Dalla Porta had led out of Pacini, had been able to slipstream him to the line. And of all that...
He will get a big round of applause, though, the V&E Snipers rider.
And there's going to be some special celebration. That's great to see as well. Romano Finati, superb that by Romano at turn 15. Fabio Quartararo, well, he's just celebrating with everybody. It's that classic Mugello encounter. Did everything right, Della Porta. You can't say
so much happiness.
Carlo Pernat there in the blue check shirt. A very famous...
Oh, don't trip over Tony.
I was going to say, well, if you're going to have a crash, you might as well do it in Parc Ferme when you're about to celebrating like he won. Arbolino's emotions are running right now.
Really nice to see, and I'm sure Simon Crafar is looking forward to talking to Tony Arbolino as well. The 2 of
the way to the top step of the podium in Mugello. I'm sure he's delighted to see his new rising star mate do.
One moment, he's coming. Jaume, what a ride. Tell us what...
The straight was impossible to overtake them, always braking. I did some mistakes, but we are happy. We have to improve more with the bike because...
Great ride.
Yeah, great ride, and good news for... So it was a late show from Masia, but better late than never. He actually got...
Lorenzo, you were arguably the best man in the race and only lost out on the slipstream.
First, and I hope to win today because the bike was so fast, like Qatar on the final straight, and on the first victory will be on the next race.
Congratulations.
Garperia, when he had that big moment on the front end. He ran in hot here, almost.
Tucking into the last corner in front of a home crowd.
So when I come here, what we do? We need just to do podium. I don't think just working more every day, you know, concentrated, but you know.
Congratulations, Tony.
What a job. What a sweet feeling it is to just give me enough time to pop out of the bubble. And there he goes over the line to
takes a big chunk off Canet as well and lifts himself not quite into contention from the V&E Snipers team. Goes up to celebrate as well here in Mugello.
Podium for him, Lorenzo Dalla Porta, so close to his second victory on home soil after his fear. Soak up the joy, Tony Arbolino, as he comes to the top step. Thinking that should be me. Luna Lanzara, the Oakley director, of course, title sponsor. His third World Championship podium finish, Giovanni Coppioli, having the honours of a Porta takes yet another second place trophy. Federico Iniesti, Scarpri and Sampiero Mea. Today in Italy, it's all of Omaboni, the Mugello community president, has podium his first victory in his 42nd start. Maiden victory in the World Championship. And quite rightly, he really... An eye full of Prosecco. Big blowing out of the cheeks there. Lorenzo Dalla Porta showing Tony Arbolino got the strategy bang on the money. Yeah, took a massive crash in this morning's warm-up session. And he's recovered to, that's the closest he's ever victory on the V&E Snipers Honda machine by the narrow margin of 200ths of a second from Lorenzo leads the World Championship. He was 7th with Suzuki, Vietti and Darren Binder completing the top 10. A long, long way back, rounding out the point scoring places. Good ride that by Gerry Salim. He's in for the injured eye in podium contention. Migno and Finati, well, they perished together at the final corner. The two Italians also done a massive favour by Tony Arbolino, because had Arbolino not slipstreamed Dalla Porta, then Dalla Porta would be leading in 2 weeks' time. Nicola Antelli right there as well, just 13 off the top spot. Gabriel Rodrigo, his ride into the top 5 today. Tatsuki Suzuki 12th, 8th, not what he would have anticipated after DNF'd, unfortunately. There was a single point on offer today for the Kazakhstani rider Makar Yurchenko, and rebounding after what we said was a very nasty crash in this morning's 20-minute warm-up session. Philip Salamassia's podium today, well, it's put Vesta Capital Dubai KTM in charge of the team championship. They're 3rd in the ranking. Sky Racing Team VR46 move up 1 spot to 5th. Share, of course, with Fabio De Gianantonio as well, but Gabriel Rodrigo's charge ended early on. After 6 races over their fierce rivals KTM. Today it was a Honda 1-2 for